from Busan City on tonight's News Watch. In breaking news, the Mecha Squad has repelled yet another cushion attack along the coastline of our beautiful city earlier this evening in a triumphant victory as we celebrate its members Diva, Overlord, King, Casino, and Demon for repelling these evil forces. Truly, where would we be without them? In other news, we have a new hero on the scene. Move over Mecha Squad in what appears to be the new CEO of the prestigious South Korean company known as Aerotech, where they were seen earlier today testing out a new form of supersuit technology. As a freak tornado appeared from seemingly nowhere to wreak havoc on our western borders. No one knows where it came from, but some are speculating to a devastating new branch of Omnic that was seen moments before the tornado erupted. Luckily, thanks to the new CEO, Aella, the disaster was quickly averted as she was seen flying the skies by citizens and combating this unnatural threat. Citizens over her fly zone even reported a strange rain that began healing their wounds in the wake of the tornado's destructive path. Just wow, what a powerhouse she is. The Mecha Squad better watch out, or she may just steal their spotlight. That's it for today's news. Tune in tomorrow night for an exclusive first interview with the new CEO of Aerotech herself. Goodbye for now.
Welcome to the hero reveal of Aella, the Meteorologist and CEO of Aerotech. Aella has 250 health and she is a support hero. Aella has a passive ability called Aerotech. While she is falling, you can hold the spacebar and it will allow Aella to glide and fall slowly, being able to angle your descent. This works very similar to how Echo's passive works. Aella's left click in basic attack is called Warm Winds. Shoot forth a gust of continuous hot wind in a medium range that reaches up to 15 meters and drains her ammo charge meter on the left side of her target area. Similar in style to how Moira and her healing spray is utilized, and it will be in red to where there will also be another charge meter on the right hand side, which will be in blue, but more on that later. When Warm Winds makes contact with an ally, it is capable of healing them while they remain in the gusts area and range. Or if it hits an enemy, it will damage the enemy over time while they remain in the winds area. Halfway down the charge meter, a notch will be shown that will indicate that 4 seconds of the charge has been used, 8 seconds being a full total charge of her Warm Winds. If Aella unleashes past the notch, the charge meter will leave a remnant Warm Wind current that will continue healing allies and damaging enemies for the next 4 seconds while it remains active on the field. Though the remnant can only heal and damage 50% of the total output, just to nerf the potential stacking capability that this could have in the long run, and the wind current only imprints on the last area that she fired in, where she hit the notch on her charge meter. I've yet to work out an exact damage and healing amount. Aella's right-click ability is called Polar Winds. Similar to her Warm Winds left-click, Polar Winds is its opposite, able to shoot forth a gale of cold, blue-hued wind that damages enemies for the same amount as Warm Winds does, within the same 15-meter range. Though visually, she will be using her right side gauntlet when she attacks, and unlike Warm Winds, Polar Winds cannot heal allies and will instead be able to slow all enemies that are hit with the chilly breeze by 20% while they remain in the Polar Winds range. Again, like Warm Winds, Polar Winds will also have a charge meter, but it's blue and to the right of the target area, to where it will have a notch halfway down the charge meter. This will again, if Aella shoots forth the Polar Winds for 4 seconds, will indicate and leave a Polar Wind current remnant. That will linger on the field in the exact same way as the Warm Winds remnant does for the 4 seconds. Though obviously it's going to be blue, chilly, and it will slow the enemies and damage them while they remain inside of it, instead of the healing. If a Warm Winds current remnant is on the field and a polar winds remnant is created over the top of it or even partly through it, a chain reaction will occur and the remnants will explode in a gust of air as it knocks up all enemies within the field's zone. Though this does no damage and it is purely a knock-up just to disrupt the team. As a minor downside to this though, it will immediately dissipate any remaining remnants on the field. Furthermore, to reduce downtime, warm winds and polar winds meters will auto-replenish over time automatically, and while warm winds is being used, polar winds will gain an increase in how quickly it replenishes back up, and the same will be said for if she is using polar winds for its opposite in warm winds. Aella's E ability is called Healing Rain. By pushing the E button, Aella can summon an area of Healing Rain that heals allies for 60 health per second for the next 5 seconds in an area of 10 meters, which is similar, for example, in size to Winston's barrier, but works in mechanic more like Soldier's 76's healing area, though being a support, the heals will be a lot higher. If an ally leaves the area, the healing will stop and there will be no lingering healing regen. Healing Rain's area of effect is also considered a cold wind remnant, though it will not gain damage or the slow effect, meaning that an air pocket explosion will occur in the 10-meter radius of the Healing Rain if she achieves this, knocking all enemies out of the Healing Rain zone and dissipating the warm winds current remnant immediately. Though this will not cancel the Healing Rain in the process until the Healing Rain's 5 seconds is fully up. Cooldown for Healing Rain is 12 seconds. Aella's left shift ability is called Updraft. Aella summons a gust of warm wind currents beneath her in a circular area of 6 meters that is capable of launching her directly upward into the air to heights similar to Farah's rocket jump. Furthermore, Updraft will leave that lingering remnant of warm air on the ground for 8 seconds after she jumps, meaning that allies or even enemies may utilize the lingering updraft to propel upwards into the air. Similar in a way to the green portals that we already have in game on certain maps that already allow this, but visually it is wind shooting upwards. Also, even though updraft is considered a warm winds remnant, it won't be capable of heals or damage. Again, as a reactionary effect, if Aella shoots her polar winds directly at the updraft, either while she is in the air and holding space to glide down or on the ground again, it will explode in a pocket of air that will knock back enemies after the 4 seconds, and if they are within range of the updraft. Updraft can only launch players that step onto the area of the updraft, and it will do so automatically once they are within its range. As a further boost, updraft can also launch certain player summoned objects such as Ash's Bob and Junkrat's Riptire Ultimate, though it is incapable of launching objects such as turrets, walls, or healing pylons that stick to surfaces. Cooldown for updraft is 12 seconds. Aella's ultimate ability is called Tornado. Aella charges for a short amount of time, similar to how Hanzo needs a short moment before he fires. She targets a direct, straight-lined area to launch forth her tornado in for 7 seconds as it travels, moving at the same speed a player can move at base. So while it may be scary looking, it isn't super fast and it can be avoided. If it hits enemies in its path, it will suck them up as they spin around the vortex once, and then it will spit them back out again. Enemies inside the vortex will be unable to escape directly until it throws them out, or unless via an ally's help, such as being life gripped, or if they are in an invulnerable or unstoppable state, such as via Zenyatta's ultimate, or even Orissa's Fortify or Reinhardt's charge. If used against a wall or inside an enclosed area, the tornado will not be able to go any further and will instead lock at the wall or area it is used in and will continue to spin until it is dissipated. Initially, the base tornado won't be able to do damage to enemies, and it is merely a disruption ability as it sucks them up and spits them out, or even acts as a fear tactic. To further continue with Aella's theme of reactionary effects and weather, if Aella has a warm current remnant out on the field and the tornado happens to go over it, the tornado will suck up the wind current and gain the warm attributes, gaining the ability to heal allies as it passes over them, and it will also gain the ability to damage enemies for tick damage while they are caught inside the vortex and spinning. Furthermore, if polar winds is used on the tornado will gain the frosty attributes, to where the tornado will gain an icy slowing effect that will slow all nearby enemies for the 20% reduction within a radius of 8 meters of the tornado, meaning that the polar tornado will slow enemies nearby, allowing it to catch up to them if they are within its path. If the tornado goes over a new wind current, it is capable to change the tornado's effect, and it will continue changing if it encounters a new current while it remains active, dissipating the current it absorbs on the ground. If an enemy team has an Aella, her abilities will not be able to affect your own, and likewise to the enemies. As always, Aella will need some tweaks before she'll work in game, as she can be quite a devastating hero to go up against, as even though she is a support, she could pose quite a threat. Thank you for watching the hero reveal of Aella, the Meteorologist and CEO of Aerotech.